Welcome back, everyone, to Coffee Unlimited with J and D. I'm Janelle, and I'm coming off a real high this week after having spent some quality time with a dear friend down in Washington. I drove down there and stayed the night at her place, and it was just the two of us, and we had the best time catching up and connecting. And because of that, Danielle thought that maybe today we would unpack this topic of friendship. And so, Danielle, I'm curious when you think of, a dear friend, a good friend, how many people in your life would you consider at that level? How many people are dear friends of yours?
That's such a great question. I mean, I would say it's really small, like
Hmm.
maybe just a handful, probably not even. And before we dive any deeper into this, I do want to share that when I saw your post a couple days ago, you with a selfie with this other friend, and you were sharing about what a great time you had and 20 years of friendship. And I was like, oh, I'm noticing that I'm feeling a little jealousy coming up, but I
I
still
was
like the post.
I'm sorry I was cheating on you, Danielle,
I know.
but
Who's this?
you are my ride or die. You are my dear, dear, dearest friend. I mean, we will travel the world together, you and I.
Oh my
So
gosh.
you're always there. But I probably do need to have a post about us where I can, sh show the world who my best friend is.
Because we're back in high school. I like
Yes,
it. Wait,
BFF.
I thought I was your ride or die. Who's this woman? Isn't that funny?
Uh, so you
But
have a handful, maybe a handful of
yeah, I
people
don't
that you
even
consider
think,
dear friends.
yeah,
Yeah.
probably just maybe like four friends
Hmm.
who I would consider like those people who are going to be there for you, especially during the not fun times, like helping you move or
Hmm.
driving you to the airport or just things like that. I
Yeah.
feel like there are only a few I would call on for that.
Yeah. And so that's a good point. Who are those people that we call on in tough times, when we're going through something tough, or maybe I was even thinking about, family health and things like that, and
Mm,
who you share some of those more serious or intimate moments with? Who would you call or who would you call upon? Yeah, and I'm the same as you. I think I probably can count those people on one hand as well. I have a number of people I would consider friends and acquaintances
mhm.
that I'm certainly excited to see if I run into them, or I will reach out and check in with them on a text message. But if I think about who do I call upon, that's a really
Mhm.
good filter. Who do I call upon in a time of need?
Yeah.
There's a few. There's only a few
Mhm.
where I would call upon them because I know they would drop everything to be there for me and to help me.
Yeah.
And so what do you think makes someone become that for you? Like
Hmm.
how do these deep friendships even emerge in your opinion?
Wow. I don't think I've ever been asked that question. Right, because I
Hmm.
don't think we reflect so much on our friendships as we do on our partnerships. Like I
Oh
feel like
yeah.
there's more
Yeah.
conversation around, how to find a partner and shared values and all that. But I don't know if that conversation is really common to be talking about your friendships and
Yeah.
reflecting on them. But I mean, I wonder if it's partly circumstance. Like there are some friends who I have when I was performing in Germany. And
Mm.
so that was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
There,
You were
people,
young. It was early in your life. You were in another
exactly,
country.
transformative years. I felt very
Hmm.
alone at that time too. And so those people who've known me also for that long, maybe I won't talk to them for years. Like it could be 5, 7 years. And then out of the blue, we'll call each other via Facebook Messenger. And it's like, oh my gosh. I just had that happen actually earlier in the
Oh,
year. And they're just like right there for you. It's like, yeah, I'm not sure how to answer. I don't know if I'm answering your question.
oh no, you are. And when you said that you talked about 5 years can pass, actually, as you were talking, I was thinking about those people that I would call upon. And to be honest, none of them are people that live in the same city as me. And I actually don't see them in person very often. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't talk to them all that often, either on a phone or even in text messages. But there is such a deep human connection with them that I still feel extremely connected to them.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, in my time of need, they're the ones I would call upon more so than friends that I see on a very regular basis here in Vancouver, BC,
Right.
which
Right.
is really interesting. Don't you think that? And maybe that's how you know they're a deep friend because you don't have to see them a lot. And when
Mm-hmm.
you do see them, even after a year or two or three, it's as if no time has passed. Maybe
Right.
that's how you really know that they are someone that you are deeply connected with, which is so interesting to me.
It kind of feels like when you're describing that, it feels like good family.
Hmm.
Right? Like you could be, I mean, I know there's all kinds of issues with family dynamics, but the ones who you relate well with in your family, you might not talk to them for a couple of years or several months at least. And then when you do, you're right back where you left off.
100%. Yeah, that's a really good call. I like that saying. You know that saying that friends are the family you choose?
I know, me too.
I think, well, and at the heart of that, you care for them like you do family, but you've chosen
Right.
them at some point in your life. I think for me, many of my closest friends, I've been through something deep with them. I've been through a
Hmm.
hard time in my life or through some trenches with them, and that's where we formed some really strong bonds, I think.
Yeah.
It's like being there for each other, being there for
Right.
each other.
Now,
Hmm.
besides the circumstance of coming together at the right time or a transformative time, what are some other qualities that you would consider are important in being your friend? Like what
Yeah.
does Janelle look for in a friend?
Well, one thing I've noticed is that when I am with my closest friends, I can 100% be myself. And I know I talk about authenticity a lot and I consider myself an authentic person. So most of the time what you see is really who I am.
Yeah.
And as we all know, there's still an extra 10, 20, maybe 30% that you're not showing to most people.
Mm-hmm.
And there's very few people in the world that truly see you and have truly seen you and where you've let your guard down, whether that is likely your closest life partners, you've let your guard down with them, family, of course, maybe not even all your family, but your closest friends, you can be yourself, you be completely vulnerable, completely authentic, and you can rest assured that you will be accepted for who you are and not judged in any way. I
Mm-hmm.
think that is a mark of a deep friendship. Is unconditional love in its own way of love. It's unconditional. You don't have to be someone you're not, and they don't have to be someone they're not with you, which
Mm-hmm.
is really special, which is probably why we only have a handful of people that we consider in that way, because it's scary to show your full self to someone. So you
Mm-hmm.
really have to trust someone to be able to go there.
Yeah. I
Hmm.
appreciate that non-judgmental space. It's like kind of
Yeah.
a safe little bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that because it is like when I was visiting you and when I was visiting my friend in Washington, it's as if the rest of the world goes away almost. So it is like a bubble that you're
Yeah.
in of just the two of you or three of you or however many people are together. And you can laugh and you can cry and you can vent and you can do all the things in your own little world.
In our
And
pajamas,
in our
right?
pajamas,
In our
yes.
pajamas
Oh my
until we went
goodness,
to
that was so fun.
Pilates.
Oh yeah, then we had to put clothes on.
So, in that sense, what are some things, let's just flip it now. What are
Hmm.
some things where you're like, "Oh yeah, no, that's not going to work. I'm not going to be able to be
Hmm.
friends with you because of XYZ." Or what are some of the qualities where you're like, "No, that's not going to work out into a good friendship?"
Yeah, when I start to feel like it's very one-sided. So
Mm.
I'm a highly empathetic person and compassionate person, and so I love being there for someone. I love listening. That's kind of my love language is when I can care for someone else or be there for them. And if I feel that a friend is calling and complaining a lot, like every call with them is them telling me, how hard their life is and how all the bad things happening in their life, and they don't ever pause to ask how I'm doing, or they don't make space for
Right.
me to also be able to share in a way of like they are. And it feels just very one-sided and that I'm kind of being used in a way.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's when the red flag comes up and I realize I need to distance myself and not open the door as much for that person. I still, if it's gotten to that point, I'd still consider them a friend. And if they really need me, I'd be there. But I would have boundaries for sure. And I'd be cautious. And once in a blue moon, I completely shut someone out. I mean, it's only happened really once in my life where I've really just deleted and blocked because it just wasn't going to be healthy for me and okay for me. But yeah, what
Yeah.
about you?
I totally resonate with that. This one-sided, I mean, because I've experienced that too, where I thought, wow, like I'm not even being asked how I'm doing,
Yeah.
but I'm like wanting to make an effort. And so I'm telling them how I'm doing and what's
Yeah.
going on with me. I'm just trying to turn it over to me. And they're still going back to them
Yes.
and all of their
Yes.
problems.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I
Mm-hmm.
just think I've become a free therapist. And
Oh,
like you
yeah.
said, just feeling used. So that's when I've just kind of distanced myself from some people who have been in my life who I felt like it's constant complaint, always about them. And when I say that, I think you mean this too, Janelle, but it's not like it always has to be 50-50 in the relationship in terms of giving and
Yeah.
receiving, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Exactly.
depending on what's going on in their life, yeah, maybe it might be completely about them for a bit, but at some point, especially in a 20-year relationship with your friend, there's the back and forth where there's a
Mm-hmm.
care for how you're doing as well. And even in some of my darkest times, I hope that I cared enough for my friends at that time
Mm-hmm.
to ask what was going on in their lives too.
Yeah. Have you ever, I was just, as you were talking, I was thinking about how I remember there was a point in my life when the kids were younger and I was working full time. I remember having this moment where I felt like I was neglecting my friends. Like I was being a bad
Mm,
friend, that I hadn't been thinking about them. I hadn't checked in. Maybe they had texted to reach out and see how I'm doing, and I didn't even respond. And, because we have all of these relationships in our life that we juggle, and especially you and I, we've got husbands, we have kids. So these are all important people. We have family, we have important people in our lives, friends being a group of important people as well. And there are moments in life where you don't have enough space or emotional bandwidth to be there for everybody. And I do remember times where I felt Like I was a real bad friend. Have you ever gone through
Mm.
that?
I have never felt like I was a bad friend, but I have received that feedback that I was a bad friend.
Really?
Yeah, because I
Oh,
wasn't there for them. And,
yeah.
I mean, I was like, oh, they're right. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't. I wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I've always just prioritized, well, especially when my kids were younger. My mom was going through her cancer too. So I really felt sandwiched in that
Yeah.
space of taking care of young children and my mother. So I was just really depleted for most
Yeah.
of the growth. Well, and I had a full-time job at that time too. So I just didn't have the patience for any friend who was going to require time from me. I was like, if you don't
Mm-hmm.
get what I'm going through, then maybe we're not supposed to be friends.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because the real friends will understand that and they'll still be there no matter how long
Yeah,
you're going through that period and when you are ready to reach back out, they're there and you pick up where you left off with those good friends.
absolutely. I mean, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like a requirement for me. I mean, and this is also in terms of a partnership too, is
Mm-hmm.
that they need to be super low maintenance. Like, I can't have high maintenance friends. Like, if they text me and I haven't texted back immediately and they're upset, or if we're not talking regularly or making time to visit one another, I just can't. I'm like, this is too much for me. You're too much.
Yeah.
Like,
That's fair. I think that's absolutely fair.
right?
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah. The how much effort someone requires
Yeah,
is
exactly.
is important to consider with who you're going to spend your time with. Now, do you have close friends that live close to you
No.
that you can actually see?
Well,
Yeah, same.
actually, I mean, right now, our friend Gina does.
Mm-hmm.
Right, who I just saw yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're so
or the day
lucky.
before. I know, just went over, had some sparkling water and kombucha. That was really fun. But yeah, normally I don't have any like very, very close friends. I have some lighter friends. We work
Mm-hmm.
together and so we'll catch up with a
Yeah.
coffee or something and maybe that'll build at some point, but I think maybe it's a little bit more challenging once you're an adult and you kind of have your rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
There's very few, like, I feel like our time is so precious that it is the biggest gift to gift your time to somebody. Gosh, I sound like a freaking
Mm.
snob.
My time is
Elitist.
worth a lot, people. Do you
Exactly.
understand how much my time is worth? No, but you're absolutely right, Danielle. I mean, time is the only thing that we really have.
Yeah.
And we can lose everything else, but our presence is one thing that we can always give. And it is precious because life is short. We are awesome. We're special.
We
Anyone
think so.
who gets our time is quite lucky. No,
Not
but
all my friends think I'm special though.
how do your kids feel? Um,
Exactly.
I totally get what you're saying though. I think with age, as we get older, we realize that time is the ultimate commodity, and
Hmm.
it's really precious. It's really important to choose who you spend your time with very wisely. It's important to choose what you're doing with your time very wisely, because
Yeah.
who you spend your time with and what you do is going to affect your physical and mental health. It's going to affect your happiness, and at the end of the day, you want to be happy in life. You want to have joy
Yeah.
in life. You want to feel like people around you care about you. So my ideal, the reason I asked you if anyone lives by you is because my dream is to live somewhere very remote and have some compound where it's just my closest friends and their families. And there's a whole bunch of animals like some mini cows and a
Oh,
donkey and some sheep. Nothing that we're going to eat or anything. They're just all ornamental, they're just all pets.
ornament. Wait, so is
So
donkey, is that plural? Is donkey plural for donkey?
donkeys, donkey. I don't know. I just need one. Actually, you know what? That's a really good point. I heard that donkeys are very social, so you need to have at least two. So we'll
Okay,
have two.
okay.
We'll have two or
All
three
right.
donkeys. Donkeys are so darn cute. If you ever go on my Instagram, if in my
I do.
account,
And I see your
well,
friends.
yes, you do. Well, if you were to log in as me instead
Oh,
of
oh.
following me, if you logged in as me, the feed of everything that you see would be all animals.
Oh my
So
gosh.
dogs, cats, donkeys, mini cows, and sheep. So my
That's
dream
so
life
funny.
is just living on some land, some property that
Yeah.
is very large and rolling hills and barns and animals and my closest friends and nobody else. I don't know how we're going to get our food. I'll let I'll let some other people figure that out because we're not going to eat the animals. I'm putting my foot down there. We won't eat our animals, but yeah, I would love to have my closest friends nearby. I just think
Oh
that would be
my gosh.
really, really fun.
I mean, that sounds fun, but it also sounds kind of terrifying too. Like, what if you have a falling out and you're like, oh
Oh,
man, now I
that's a
gotta move?
good
Or,
point. Well, maybe the property is so big
oh, okay.
that you can relegate them to a corner, or you could at least be separated, and you don't really have to see each other after that point. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I have to figure that stuff out.
I mean, I
But
do like this idea though, but let's talk more about the falling out
oh,
of
yeah.
friendship.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I really actually think about, when we were texting earlier today and I was starting to reflect on friendships and what makes them work, what makes them not work. I
Hmm.
was thinking that they're really similar to a relationship, a partnership.
Yeah.
And I mean, I kind of have a similar criteria with my friends as I do with my partner, except I don't require them to be hot with my friends. I don't need to
That's
find them
just a
attractive.
cherry on top.
But, when I think about falling out with a friend or even with a partner, because I feel like it needs to be some drastic, dramatic event to have a falling out. Like
Yeah.
to break up with a partner or to break up with a friend, something has to happen. But I actually don't feel like something dramatic or significant needs to happen. It might be that you're just shifting your priorities, you're shifting your values, and you just grow apart. And they're still lovely people, but you're just not at that same space you were when you had that close friendship.
Actually, that's a really good point. I was also thinking that there would be some major blow up of something. But when I think about earlier in my life, some people I considered my closest friends, when I had kids and they didn't, I
Mm,
noticed our lives just started to go separate paths. And it wasn't right or wrong. It's just that we had different priorities
yeah.
and and then different expectations of each other. And so it was a slow burn off, actually. There
Hmm.
wasn't a dramatic moment. It was more like a slow departure
Yeah.
and heading down different life paths that fizzled those close friendships out because I at the time they were my closest friends, but I don't consider them my closest friends now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
I was,
Politics
yeah.
can also, for me,
Mm.
when I start to learn people's ideologies and their political leaning,
Yeah,
that is uh, something that can pull me apart from someone for sure.
I know. That's such a challenging one. I mean, here I am with my I voted sticker, Proposition 50. Vote yes on Prop 50 if you're in California. I know it's such a hard one because at the same time, I want to be able to have those conversations. I want to be able to sit down and, I mean, maybe they're not my closest friends, but
Mm-hmm.
to be able to be in that conversation with somebody who has a completely different ideology than
Mm-hmm.
mine. But it's
Yeah.
hard.
It's really hard. I always want to be able to listen and consider
Hmm.
someone's point of view that can be different than mine. For someone to be a close friend, when I think about politics, especially politics in America right now, there's a real divide around how you treat other humans on depending on what side of
Yeah.
politics that you're on. And at the core for me, caring for humans and all humankind and being empathetic is a non-negotiable for me. So if
Hmm.
someone supports politics that causes suffering for others and real
Yeah.
suffering. I mean, someone might say, "Oh, that legislation makes me mad," because gas prices went up. That is
Hmm.
not real suffering. I'm talking about your right to live as you are, your
Yeah.
right to freedom, your right to be who you are, your right to make your own choices.
Hmm.
And those are non-negotiable for me. I think everybody has the right to find their happiness, and if your policies prevent people from finding happiness, then and you support those policies, then we are fundamentally different people, and I wouldn't consider you a close friend.
Yeah. No,
Hmm.
I hear you with that. Coming back to the States, it's been pretty
Yeah.
eye-opening to see like the different news channels and what information gets shared where.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so I try to look at that, and
Yeah.
because I don't think everybody knows, and I don't know all the policies. I mean, I'm not, up to everything, but I feel like I do my part and read through the things that I feel like really are important, like caring for other people and
Mm.
making sure that everyone has a voice and so on. But when I think about some of the other news channels that I don't often watch, but sometimes I will, just to be like, okay, what's going on over there? Because,
Yeah.
and it's a completely different story
Story. Yeah, it's
than
a
what
different
I'm
narrative.
hearing,
Yeah.
right? And so
Hmm.
I just try to feel like, I don't know, I just try to put myself in that position of, okay, they are operating at their best from their level
Mm.
of awareness, and they're receiving this part of information. I'm receiving a different part.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't
That's a
know.
real
I don't have
generous
the
way.
answer, but
I like that, Danielle. It's a very generous way to look at it. Yeah. They're doing the best with the information they have and the perspective and through which that they're looking. Yeah.
yeah.
That's a really good
I
way.
mean, I don't know if I shared this with you, but I think it was the 2016 election with Trump and Hillary Clinton. And I was leading a yoga teacher training at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So we
Mm-hmm.
were all in this yoga teacher training bubble, but of course we knew it was in the States and we knew the election was happening. So that evening, everybody was like on their phone or just, wanting to stay up to hear the results. And I just had this bias that I thought, okay, anyone who's at my yoga teacher training is going to be voting for Hillary Clinton. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
just assumed. I made that
Mm-hmm.
assumption.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next morning, when we heard that she wasn't elected, there were some people who were really happy in,
Mm-hmm.
in the student base.
Yeah.
And I had to make a choice in that moment. I was like, okay, like I really care for these people, who
Mm-hmm.
voted for somebody I didn't vote for.
Mm-hmm.
But again, they're voting on things that they're listening to that's different from what I'm listening
Yeah.
to. And so I was like, okay, yoga is our inclusive space where we're just gonna like put politics aside, be human to human, and
That's great.
you know,
Yeah.
but it was a wake up call for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I bet. Yeah. I probably would have made the same assumption.
Right?
That's you. Yeah, absolutely. Oh man.
Oh my
Well,
gosh. So
this has been
friends and
friends,
politics.
friends. Yeah. Do you talk politics with your friends? That's
Yeah.
probably, yeah, not something that always comes up, but yeah, when it
Yeah.
does, it's always interesting.
I know, but I love that you and I can have this space together and we can talk about our perspectives and, what we value in friendships. And I'm so happy that
Hmm.
you're my friend, Janelle, that I
I'm
get to
happy you're
call
my
you
friend, Danielle. I'm
my
happy that
friend.
life brought us together.
I know, right? I've got to be
Hmm.
grateful to Lululemon. Thank you, Lululemon.
Thank you, Lululemon, for more than just black stretchy pants.
Exactly.
Lifelong friends.
Oh, well, if you're listening to this, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Janelle and I really don't filter or plan much besides the topic. And so you'll notice that we kind of go in different directions. It's two good friends talking about what's on our mind, what's in our hearts. And if you enjoyed it, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can always follow us on Instagram at Coffee Unlimited with J and D. We'll see you next time.
Bye.